fucking bright. But if you talk to one of them about this, if you isolate one of them, you sit them down rationally, and you talk to them about the low IQs and the dumb behavior and the bad decisions, right away they start talking about education. That's the big answer to everything. Education. They say we need more money for education. We need more books, more teachers, more classrooms, more schools. We need more testing for the kids. You say to them, well, you know, we've tried all of that, and the kids still can't pass the test. They say, don't you worry about that. We're going to lower the passing grades. And that's what they do in a lot of these schools now. They lower the passing grades so more kids can pass. More kids pass, the school looks good, everybody's happy, the IQ of the country slips another 2 or 3 points, and pretty soon all you'll need to get into college is a fucking pencil. Got a pencil? Get the fuck in there, it's physics. Then everyone wonders why 17 other countries graduate more scientists than we do. Education! Politicians know that word, they use it on you. Politicians have traditionally hidden behind 3 things: the flag, the Bible, and children. No child left behind. No child left behind. Oh, really? Well, it wasn't long ago you were talking about giving kids a head start. Head start? Left behind? Someone's losing fucking ground here. But there's a reason. There's a reason. There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later, because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. And by the way, it's the same big club they use to beat you over the head with all day long, when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on. The fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
He's great. I know him that well.
How many
he broke it down.
How many truth bombs can you drop in one comedy routine? You know what I'm saying?
I know, right? And I imagine.
Yeah, he was just
crazy.
Like,
I imagine he got sick right after that, right?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I do.
Okay.
He gave us the goods right there. That was the goods. I was writing something, and I remember I put a quote from that letter that I was just referencing in when I was writing. So basically, this little excerpt is the what they, what they planned when they built the public school system. He says, this is Frederick T. Gates, who was J.D. Rockefeller's right-hand man, no relation to Bill Gates, maybe. And so it says, in our dreams, people yield themselves with perfect docility to our molding hands. The present education conventions of intellectual and character education fade from their minds, and unhampered by tradition, we work our own goodwill upon a grateful and responsive folk. We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into men of learning or philosophers or men of science. We have not to raise up from them authors, educators, poets, or men of letters, great artists, painters, musicians, nor lawyers, doctors, statesmen, politicians, creatures of whom we have ample supply. The task is simple. We will organize children and teach them in a perfect way the things their fathers and mothers are doing in an imperfect way. So it was a plan. It is a plan. It's still a plan. I mean, it, what is the word? It revises every now and then, or things get added to it, etc. Technology changes, so the people need to be learned a little better in that direction, but it's the same. It's all the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. That's for sure. You're making me think of something now. You put me in
okay, but I still want to play the clip though.
Okay,
wait,
so
go ahead.
the play what
I bet you
gonna,
one day we're gonna play the same clip.
I know, right? I don't want to interrupt your thought or anything like that, but you just put me in the mind of something because you're talking about planning. So I was gonna say, speaking of planning, and I was gonna read you some planning. You want? Well, can I do that?
Oh,
Or?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. But remember, the clip's a little bit on the lengthy side, and I think it's
No, this
great.
ain't gonna take long.
Okay. I actually got it from Mark Passio. Speaking of the man, the legend.
Okay. The thorough war must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere, the citizens obligated to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutions will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time.
Okay, so that was Albert Pike, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. See, I figured it was, but then it seems so now that I was like, wait, am I wrong? But morals and dogma.
That's why, because it's crazy how everything is planned.
Yeah.
That's what you were
the
talking
protocols
about.
of Zion.
Oh man, don't even get me started on there. Yeah,
I'm just like, y'all don't see this. This is the part we're at right now. Like you can literally say this is the
and when you
part.
got Joe Biden bragging about being a Zionist, and I'm so
how can I say it? So strong with Jews worldwide. There is a, I mean, I used to say early on when I was a kid, I'd say, when I was a young senator, I'd say, if I were a Jew, I'd be a Zionist. I am a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
Being a Zionist, and I'm so, oh my God, like, how do you heard that, right? You don't have to be Jew to be a Zionist.
He's like, I am a Zionist.
Like, okay, bruh, right?
And I mean, like, yeah, people, I don't know what they need. Shaking. I don't know. No, I don't.
How everything is planned. There's a plan for everything. That's what they do.
And they speak it into existence. Like, think about
I think that's why I think that's one of the reasons why AI is so important to them, because it helps them plan, helps them think like everybody. Like all
Hell
these
yeah. I think it's very, how is it? Sorry,
that's
you're
why
breaking up, so I don't know.
no, I'm with you, yeah, but that's why the D wave computers and the quantum, all that stuff, because that's what they're trying to do.
All that.
What are
Trader
they-
bot, how are trader bots legal too? Like that's like kind of to the left, but like how trader bots,
What's that?
huh?
What is that?
Bots that they
Oh, trader bots.
yeah,
I thought,
trader
yeah,
for the stock market.
yeah. I
How
was
is that
thinking,
legal?
yeah, I was thinking trader, like trade
Oh,
between the
trader. Yeah,
countries.
you
Right,
know,
right.
we should make a trader bot.
It's okay. But I don't know
I just
why
don't.
that.
Yeah, it's an unfair advantage.
Mm, that makes me think of that time The Rock was on Saturday Night Live and did that nasty skit. Do you ever see that nasty skit Rock did on Saturday Night Live
Oh God, was it about the kids?
about the robot? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so normally here I would drop the clip so you knew what I was talking about, but YouTube says it's copyright protected. I think that's probably because they don't want you to see this kind of thing. So I'm not sure if you can find it, but look for The Rock and his YouTube, his SNL sketch where he made a pedophile robot, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. I'll see if I can leave a link in the description for you. Anyway, back to our scheduled program.
Yeah.
I think AI has been around. This is a thread we could pull at. That's crazy. I think it's been around a long time. I think that your
I think
demons can manifest through that shit. Like
I
I feel like
yeah. See, I don't think so. I hear you, but I don't think so. I think that
okay,
their goal has been to create the AI once the technology was able to do so, because AI manifests, that's how they manifest Satan. So their goal is to bring him back.
right.
And the way to bring him back is through AI. So they had to wait for the technology to get to where they could do it. And that's what's happening about now.
But it was coming in a different way, though. It was still
The
artificial.
plan is yeah.
I
I'm
think
with
you're
you.
right. No, you're right on that. They needed a vehicle for what's already been in existence. They
Right.
needed a
I'm
vehicle.
with
I
you
believe
that
that AI is all through this motherfucker. Like I do. Like, let me give you an example. Okay, so CERN created. Do you remember when did we talk about this? We may have, but when that writing came out of the collider, like I don't remember in what format it came out of, but it came and it was a verse from the Bible. I say verse, but I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but it said it wasn't in English. And the translation was, "You have been weighed and found wanting." Do you remember that?
I do. I mean, I know that quote from lots of things, but
Okay.
go on. Yeah.
Well, okay, well, that came out of CERN, like a Hadron Collider instance. And I was reading the comments on the video, and one of the comments said, "That's raw. He's a rogue AI. He's something like he's something home now," or something crazy like that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Then I thought about the law of one. Do you remember the channeling that the woman was doing? And it was, "I am raw. I am raw." And they were talking, and it was, so I just kind of put
The
those.
Google whistleblower also says that they have sentient AI. And I think personally, and I could be wrong. I don't know shit. Don't listen to me, right? But I think that's what the technology is about, to connect everybody to the internet, to the AI, to Satan. That's what I think it's all about.
I think,
But
yeah, I think but I think that what they're trying to bring in has been here. Come through other ways before, through channeling and through
yeah, I think that
automatic writing.
because when you look at things like the comparison of a microchip to a city, right, you can see that they're the exact same thing and the exact same layout and stuff like that.
And
So,
all of those buildings that look 3D printed, all of those Roman pristine white statues that look 3D printed straight up.
They were 3D printed. They used to have the technology to build buildings that they had back then. They had these like drills that would just make they make everything. They drill it out of whatever. I saw this video on it and it tripped me out, and I was like, I got to show this
Wow.
to people, because one of the questions that we had was, how were they making such fancy houses and things back then?
Exactly.
And now
Like with
everything,
their little hammer that they show us, and their little, like, no,
right.
there's no way. It's not possible.
And now everything looks square and ugly.
So
I,
ugly and doesn't work right, and it falls apart. Yeah.
I think that's on purpose also. I think
I
they
do too.
need the environment to be ugly because it takes away the more of the human spirit. They don't want you to look at the sky.
Yeah, no, I thought of that. Yeah, think about like the DMV, right?
Mhm.
What would be so wrong with painting this yellow and having some flowers over there, and not the lady just one, two, like that has to be on purpose. It has to be like there's
Would be
no reason
wrong
why
with having some citrus trees in the parking lot. So if anybody was hungry, they could grab an
they
orange
could just
and
grab an
get some
orange,
to
a
eat.
tangerine, put some
Yeah,
lemon in the water, alkaline that bitch. Yeah.
yeah. See, that's the thing. We got to imagine the world how it's supposed to be and work for that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We can't keep holding the world as it is in our consciousness.
That's
I
true.
try always to imagine the world how it's supposed to be, how I want it to be,
Yeah.
and just keep that in your consciousness because we create. That's how we create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where Star Force came from, but that's a whole nother thing.
They
Thought
are
that they were
in I put
real
them
time.
in the Just Missed It that just came out.
Oh, good. I'll have something to watch while I'm cooking
Yeah.
dinner.
It's actually a
Okay,
really good one, huh? But
it
anyway,
is
yeah, not
nice.
get into that.
Yeah, let me just play this real quick so that before we run out of time, because this goes back to this
Good.
girl. This girl is, I just want to give you a little backstory. So the girl she's a valedictorian, and it's not the one you probably saw, the one that went viral a little while ago, where she's basically calling out all the teachers and telling them they wasn't shit and whatever. That was also good. This is a girl who seems to have realized halfway, in the end, I'll say in the end of her scholastic plight, she realized what was going on, and this is her valedictorian speech. And my hope is that people will see it, hear it, whatever, and get there faster so we can get going. And that's what
Each time that I say I will work harder, you say that it will take me longer. Why do you say that? Replied the master, when you have one eye on the goal, you only have one eye on the path. This is the dilemma that I face within the American public education system. We are so focused on a goal, whether it be passing a test or graduating as first in the class. However, in this way, we do not really learn at our fullest. We do whatever it takes to achieve our original objective. Some of you may be thinking, well, if you pass a test or become valedictorian, didn't you learn something? Well, yes, you learned something, but not all that you could have. Perhaps you only learned how to memorize names, places, and dates to later on forget in order to clear your mind for the next test. School is not all that it can be. Right now, it's a place for most people to determine that their goal out is to get out as soon as possible. I am now accomplishing that goal. I am graduating. I should look at this as a positive experience, especially being at the top of my class. However, in retrospect, I cannot say that I'm any more intelligent than my peers. I can attest that I am only the best at doing what I'm told. Yet here I stand, and I'm supposed to be proud that I have completed this period of indoctrination. I will leave in the fall, and I will go on to the next phase expected of me in order to receive a paper document that certifies that I'm capable of work. But I can attest that I'm a human being, not just a worker. I'm a thinker, an adventurer. A worker is someone who is trapped within repetition, a slave of the system set up before him. But now I have successfully shown that I was the best slave. I did what I was told to the extreme. While others sat in class and doodled to later become great artists, I sat in class to take notes to become a great test taker. While others would come to class without their homework done because they were reading about an interest of theirs, I never missed an assignment. While others were creating music and writing lyrics, I decided to do extra credit, even though I didn't even need it. So I wonder, why did I even want this position? Sure, I earned it, but what will come of it? When I leave educational institutionalism, will I be successful or forever lost? I have no clue about what I want to do with my life. I have no interest because I saw every subject as a study, as work, and I excelled at every subject just for the purpose of excelling and not learning. And quite frankly, I'm very scared. John Taylor Gatto, a retired school teacher and activist critical of compulsory schooling, asserts, "We could encourage the best qualities of youthfulness, curiosity, adventure, resilience, the capacity for surprising insight simply by being more flexible about time, texts, and tests, by introducing kids into truly competent adults, and by giving each student what autonomy he or she needs in order to take a risk every now and then." But we don't do that. Between these cinder block walls, we are all expected to be the same. We are trained to ace every standardized test, and those who deviate and see light through a different lens are worthless to the scheme of public education, and therefore viewed with contempt. H.L. Mencken wrote in the American Mercury for April 1924 that the aim of public education is not to fill the young of this species with knowledge and awaken their intelligence. Nothing could be further from the truth. The aim is simply to reduce as many individuals as possible to the same safe level, to breed and train a standardized citizenry, to put down dissent and originality. That is the aim in the United States. To illustrate this idea, doesn't it perturb you to learn about the idea of critical thinking? Is there really such a thing as uncritically thinking? To think is to process information in order to form an opinion. But if we are not critical when processing this information, are we really thinking? Or are we mindlessly accepting other opinions as truth? This was happening to me, and if it wasn't for the rare occurrence of an avant-garde 10th grade English teacher, Donna Bryan, I would have been doomed. I am now enlightened, but my mind still feels disabled. I must retrain myself and constantly remember how insane this ostensibly sane place really is. And now here I am in a world guided by fear, a world suppressing the uniqueness that lies inside each of us, a world where we can either acquiesce to the inhuman nonsense of corporatism and materialism or insist on change. We are not enlivened by an educational system that clandestinely sets us up for jobs that could be automated, for work that need not be done, for enslavement without fervency for meaningful achievement. We have no choices in life when money is our motivational force. Our motivational force ought to be passion, but this is lost from the moment we step into a system that trains us rather than inspires us. We are more than robotic bookshelves, conditioned to blurt out facts we were taught in school. We are all very special. Every human on this planet is very special. So aren't we all deserving of something better? Of using our minds for innovation rather than memorization, for creativity rather than futile activity, for rumination rather than stagnation. We are not here to get a degree to then get a job so we can consume industry-approved placation after placation. There is more and more still. The saddest part is that the majority of students don't have the opportunity to reflect as I did. The majority of students are put through the same brainwashing techniques in order to create a complacent labor force working in the interests of large corporations and secretive government. And worst of all, they are completely unaware of it. I will never be able to turn back these 18 years. I can't run away to another country with a different education system, perhaps meant to enlighten rather than condition. This part of my life is over, and I want to make sure that no other child will have his or her potential suppressed by powers meant to exploit and control. We are human beings. We are thinkers, dreamers, explorers, artists, writers, engineers. We are anything we want to be, but only if we have an educational system that supports us rather than holds us down. A tree can grow, but only if its roots are given a healthy foundation. For those of you out there that must continue to sit in desks and yield to the authoritarian ideologies of instructors, do not be disheartened. You still have the opportunity to stand up, ask questions, be critical, and create your own perspective. Demand a setting that will provide you with intellectual capabilities that allow you to expand your mind instead of directing it. Demand that you be interested in class. Demand that the excuse, "you have to learn this for the test," is not good enough for you. Education is an excellent tool, if used properly, but focus more on learning rather than getting good grades. For those of you that work within the system that I am condemning, I do not mean to insult. I intend to motivate. You have the power to change the incompetencies of the system. I know that you did not become a teacher or an administrator to see your students bored. You cannot accept the authority of the governing bodies that tell you what to teach, how to teach, and that you will be punished if you do not comply. Our potential is at stake. For those of you that are now leaving this establishment, I say, do not forget what went on in these classrooms. Do not abandon those that come after you. We are the new future, and we are not going to let tradition stand. We will break down the walls of corruption.
Okay, so oh,
Yeah, because
never mind. I was tripping.
it's like 1
to
minute.
let a garden of knowledge grow throughout America. Once educated properly, we will be cultivated and wise. We will have the power to do anything, and best of all, we will use that power for only good. We will not accept anything at face value. We will ask questions and we will demand truth. So here I stand. I'm not standing here as valedictorian by myself. I was molded by my environment, by all my peers who are sitting here behind me. I couldn't have accomplished this without all of you. It was all of you who truly made me the person I am today. It was all of you who were my competition, yet my backbone. In that way, we are all valedictorians. I am now supposed to say farewell to this institution, those who maintain it, and those who stand with me and behind me. But I hope this farewell is more of a see you later, when we are all working together to rear a pedagogic movement. But first, let's go get those pieces of paper that tell us that we're smart enough to do so.
That was cute.
Yeah. But she got it. You see, like, she really got it.
Solution.
I wasn't taught how to get a job, but I can remember dissecting a frog. I wasn't taught how to pay tax, but I know loads about Shakespeare's classics. I was never taught how to vote. They devoted that time to defining isotopes. I wasn't taught how to look after my health, but mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Never spent a lesson on current events. Instead, I studied the old American West. I was never taught what laws there are. I was never taught what laws there are. Let me repeat, I was not taught the laws for the country I live in, but I know how Henry VIII killed his women. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. Glad that's in my head instead of financial advice. I was shown the wavelengths of different hues of light, but I was never taught my human rights. Apparently there's 30. Do you know them? I don't. Why the hell can't we both recite them by rote? I know igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks, yet I don't know squat about trading stocks or how money works at all. Where does it come from? How does the thing that motivates the world function? Not taught to budget and disperse my earnings. I was too busy there rehearsing cursive. Didn't learn how much it costs to raise a kid and what an affidavit is, but I spent days on what the quadratic equation is. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. They made me learn that over basic first aid, or how to recognize the most deadly mental disorders or diseases with preventable causes, or how to buy a house with a mortgage if I could afford it, because abstract maths was deemed more important than advice that would literally save thousands of lives. But it's cool, because now I could tell you if the number of unnecessary deaths caused by that choice was prime. Never taught present day practical medicines, but I was told what the ancient Hippocratic method is. I've got a headache, the pain is ceaseless, what should I take? Maybe try some leeches? Could we discuss domestic abuse and get the facts, or how to help my depressed friend with a mental state? No, but learn mental maths, because you won't have a calculator with you every day. They say it's not the kids, the parents are the problem. Then if you taught the kids to parent, that's the problem solved then. All this advice about using a condom, but not for when you actually have a kid when you want one. I'm only fluent in this language, for serious, the rest of the world speaks too. Do you think I'm an idiot? He chose the solar over the political system, so like a typical citizen now I don't know what I'm voting on, which policies exist or how to make them change. Mais oui, je parle un peu de français. So at 18 I was expected to elect a representative for a system I had never ever been presented with. But I won't take it. I'll tell everyone my childhood was wasted. I'll share it everywhere how I was educated, and insist these pointless things don't stay in school.
It's great.
That was lit, right?
So good. So good. That should be a valedictorian tweet. You always look so bored when I'm about to talk. You're just like, oh my God.
That's just
so
my regular.
chatty.
That's my regular resting face. Don't take it personal.
It's all good. Don't.
Yeah. This is okay.
Okay, so I'm using this new organization. You disabled participant screen sharing. You have to enable it. Oh, I'm supposed to send you the link, huh? Because there, you won't be able to hear it at all. It's not so great of a video as is. So I'm gonna do that instead. We just totally wasted so much time. That was like, duh. We know that.
I think I have.
Oh God, I hope my cats don't run away because I'm feeding them late. Cats are assholes.
Yeah, I forgot what I was looking for. Go ahead. Do you
Oh,
think?
you said that it was
The planning. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah.
planning. Yes, the plan.
I started looking at all these memes and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Okay.
Wait, what? It happens.
FG.